You are the son of Craven the Hunter, and you want to live a normal life. Your mom is sick, and your dad, Craven, is cheating on her with another woman. That is not the worst problem. The biggest problem is you are chased and hunted down by a bunch of zombies looking for zombie food. What do you do? I will show you the mistakes made and give advice on how to survive the zombie apocalypse in 28 years later. Directed by Danny Boyle, the movie starts off as a bunch of kids watching Teletubbies. When a lady shows up, drop another kid into the room.
Alfie, what's going on?
Jimmy, sit still, keep quiet, and do not move from this spot.
One of the kids got curious and wants to know what's going on. All of a sudden, zombie busts through the room, eating the kids up like they're at an all-you-can-eat buffet. The one kid escaped to this church and see the preacher minding his own business.
This is a glorious day. A day of judgment.
The preacher hid this kid and basically accepted his fate by the act of God, and the zombies ate him like a weekend barbecue cookout.
My children!
28 years later, after the rage virus affected the whole country, Craven the Hunter shows up, wake his son Spike up to do chores. As a matter of fact, all of the local survivors are making weapons like bows and arrows, knives, and created a barrier to prevent any zombie from coming inside.
There were so many dead.
While Craven and Spike eating breakfast, their mom, Isla, wakes up having a nightmare like she's in a Freddy Krueger movie.
But your body says yeah.
Craven wants to take Spike out to the mainland to prove that he's a man, but Spike's mom, Isla, do not like the idea to the point that she wants him to go to school. So instead of going to school, Craven decides to take him beyond the barriers. All the villagers wish him luck to become a man and get his first kill. They run into a group of people and the lady tells him, "If we hear and see you, we will rescue you. However, if you're being chased by a zombie or bitten by a zombie, you are totally screwed."
Once you walk onto that mainland, there's no rescues.
Moving up and down again.
To the preacher who just gave his life up for nothing, you just accepted your fate. You did not try to fight any of the zombies or hide in a bunker like the kid did. If that were me, I would try to take my chance and burn a whole church down and kill as many zombies as I can. It's better than let the zombies die than versus eating me alive. When it comes to zombie apocalypse, there's a few things you may need in order to survive. The first thing is weapons. Weapons such as bow and arrow, knives, guns if they have any, and long-range weapons like a staff. You also may need a lighter fluid to make a torch to use fire against the zombies since they hate fire. Another thing is they need food. If you're going to go out to fight them, might as well have food like canned goods, fruit, or bread. If you find a house, you may need to find some food and water. Water is also essential for the body. You can go through a few days without food, but can't go through a few days without water. The last thing you might need is other essentials like bandage, rope, or switch arm and life. Any small thing like these can help you along the way to survive against the zombies. Craven, the hunter, and Spike go beyond the barrier, and he tells Spike the best way to get back across the mainland is the tide to be low so they can walk or run. If the tide is too high, they have to swim. As they travel through the woods, they see a Pillsbury Doughboy zombie crawling around looking for some food. Craven tells him the best way to kill it is his throat. In the movie, the best way to take out these zombies are the neck, head, and heart. Spike's first kill was through the neck, which was a great shot, but more Pillsbury Doughboy zombies shows up and Craven took them out like he was Robin Hood.
Look at what's in front of you.
Craven was so proud of Spike they decided to continue with their adventure. Craven and Spike see this abandoned home and search for supplies, but hears a noise which leads to a zombie tied up upside down with his head covered, hanging like a piñata. Craven wants him to put the zombie out of misery but he hesitated to do it, which Spike eventually took him out. The lesson of this story is to kill or be killed. Meanwhile, at the village, a guy teaches everyone how to kill zombies with bow and arrow, and point to they need to kill him with 2 spots, the head and the heart. Back to the forest, Craven and Spike sees the animal head hanging on a tree, which means they need to run. All of a sudden, the zombie shows up, start chasing them, and the survival begins. They employ a strategy of kill 2 zombies at one time, but run as far back as you can. Headshots or heart shots. They do this a few times and found a safe haven to be safe for the night in the attic. Alright, you normally take your son out to hunt for simple kills like deers and hogs, but a zombie? Spike got more than he bargained for. Spike did the right thing and shoot him in the neck, but he screwed up by shooting them in the leg while he was running. If that were me, I would only do headshots. Once you shoot them in the head, there's a pretty good chance they would die on the spot. Instead of standing in the open, kill the zombie, I would hide behind a tree or bush to execute them so they cannot find me or try to sneak behind me from being zombie food.
You know, I feel he's a bit young.
He's ready, Jenny.
I know Craven was trying to make a man out of Spike, but if I were Craven, I would end this hunt and just go back home because Spike was pretty nervous. And the last thing they need is being nervous and fall down with running. These things will get him killed. The best choice in this situation is to go back home. It's a better option so they can fight another day. So, Spike apologized to Craven for screwing up and missing shots without being chased by zombies. The zombies were too fast and too good, which made him scared to death. As a result, they decided to spend the night at the abandoned house. One of the zombies looking at the house at a distance like he knows they are inside. All of a sudden, the chimney collapsed, which forces Craven and Spike to run at night in the woods. They ran and found themselves close to the barrier by the mainland, but they are greeted by a horde of crows, and a super zombie shows up chasing them all the way to the homeland like he was running track and field. The men see them and take out the super zombie and was let in for the celebration. The villagers were so happy of Spike's accomplishment that he drank a beer for 12 years old, threw up, and caught his dad Craven cheating on his mom with another woman. This made Spike so mad that he told his grandpa what really happened in the woods. Spike tell him that he saw a fire which his grandpa indicates someone else could be alive on the other side. The next morning, Craven drunk, Isla sick, and Spike wanted to find a doctor for his mom. He thinks the doctor is where he saw the fire in the wood. Craven tells a story about hundreds of bodies with a fire burning to see a guy waving at them carrying a body like it's just a normal day.
There were so many dead.
Then Spike hit a nerve when he asked Craven about going to the other lady if Isla passed away. Craven pimp slapped him and walks out the house. I can understand that Spike wants to make his dad proud by killing a zombie, but why would you have your son go through all of that just to prove himself? Clearly Spike is nervous, but at least he can hit his target. All of this on his first day? If that were me, I would just simply take him home. If you see a super zombie running like Usain Bolt, you run like hell. If you're going to shoot at him, use headshots only. Or lure him into a bigger weapon, which they did, and take him out with a spear that has fire around it. Fighting someone that big is one massive suicide, and he will rip your head off. Although Spike saw Craven with another woman, I would ask him how long has he been fooling around with her, knowing Craven is a married man and have a wife who is severely sick. One thing that any kid would like to do is to defend his mom, and he did just that. The next day, someone set the barn on fire. It was a distraction for Spike and his mom to go beyond the mainland to seek a doctor. They traveled far and wide, and they rested at a cathedral. While they are taking a beautiful sleep, another Pillsbury Doughboy zombie shows up trying to eat them, but Isla took care of that problem. The next scene, armed forces are being chased by zombies. Some survived, and others zombie food. The remaining soldiers searched the bunker and got ambushed by a super zombie, and one soldier barely escaped. The next morning, a zombie shows up out of nowhere trying to take out Spike and Isla. They run into a gas station and they were almost zombie food until the survivor soldier shows up and saves the day. Erik is his name, and he is mad about the zombie thing and wish he was rather do delivery driver instead of being a soldier. Few minutes later, the trio walk into the woods and hear a zombie scream and see a pregnant zombie need to give birth to her child, which she did when she had a baby. Erik shoots the zombie lady and threatens to kill the baby because he thinks it's infected, but is ripped apart by the super zombie again, who shows up wanting to kill all three of them, but is tranquilized by Dr. Kelson. Alright, Isla and Spike are the two luckiest persons in the world. They were saved twice, first by Erik at the gas station and Dr. Kelson from super zombie with a tranquilizer. I will give credit to Spike for having the nerve to take a huge risk and try to save his mom. It is very risky, but you gotta try and see where it leads. I have no problem with that. As for Erik, you knew he was being a punk when he was acting all weird, then try to take the baby out. I can't fault the super soldier because he deserved to be taken out. Erik gave the position away when he result when he shot the zombie mom and being chased by a super soldier. If I was Spike, I would let him go his separate ways. Erik proved to be a trigger-happy loose cannon. You don't need him around, especially in Isla's condition. Dr. Kelson is a doctor and he has survived for a long time with his unique methods. He tells them the story of the skull tile where he would place their head and use them like building Legos. He put Erik's head into the incinerator to clean him up to have a skull and place him with the rest of the skulls.
Many kinds of death. And some are better than others.
He also diagnosed Isla and he thinks that she has cancer and don't have much time to live. Spike answered an honest question. If she's going to die. Dr. Kelson answered there is no cure for her and she's definitely going to die.
There is no cure.
Spike was so heartbroken that he was tranquilized to sleep, only to have one last moment with his mom. Dr. Kelson incinerated Isla's head and have Spike place her head on the top of the skull tower. The next day, the super soldier finds them and tries to take the doctor out, but Spike saved him. Spike and the baby travel back home, and 28 days later, Spike is doing pretty good, surviving with the baby. He placed the baby by the barrier and write a note mentioning to take care of the baby. Craven sees this and trying to find Spike and realize he's not coming back. The next scene, Spike sees a group of zombies trying to chase him, but he killed a couple. But a group of weirdos shows up doing acrobatic ninja stuff to finish the zombie off. Spike meets a new friend and the movie ends. Craven the Hunter. I have to say this, but you screwed up.
You know you done up, right?
It all started with you taking Spike to be a man, and there's no problem with that. Every father usually does this with his son. Spike got his first kill and it should have ended there. Instead, you lead Spike deeper to the wood only to be chased by multiple zombies. And have your son scared. The chimney caved in on you, which led to being chased by a super zombie, and got lucky that you escaped. Then you got so drunk that you were cheating on your sick wife, which led Spike and Isla away from you to see a doctor. Spike and Isla were chased by a zombie, saved twice, and got Erik killed. They traveled all the way to the doctor just to get the bad news, which resulted in your wife there, and Spike basically traveled all the way up there to nothing, and he wanted nothing to do with you. As a result, Craven, you screwed up.
You know you done up, right?
28 years later, it's a decent zombie movie that have a deep connection between mom and son for survival of the fittest. Great storyline, but just basically another zombie movie that probably be on streaming service real quick. If you want to see more upcoming movie reviews, press the like, share, and subscribe button. I will see you in the next movie review.
My children!
What an idiot!